Hey, you're watching the Half Asian Tarot Queen, and I'm Elisa. Just a reminder, giveaway this month is the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot. I'm going to feature it later in the reading. If you want to find out more about the giveaway, it's in the monthly reading. So there's a main reading for the whole month of September. It's on the main page of the channel. I'm going to link it here also. But it was just like an overall reading for the month of September, and I think the reading was called Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead. So it was just talking about, you know, just like some oppressive situation that was being removed, and like opening the way for sort of a new era. That's kind of what's coming online for September. And this is the first reading that I've done since September, the monthly reading. So we'll see what comes through. I'm going to the Mystical Shaman Oracle to pick a few cards. That was the the deck that I gave away in July. Ooh. So yeah, I've been doing like one giveaway a month, and it's just like a community building thing. It's a pretty small, tight community that I have here, so the chances of winning are pretty good, and entering is pretty easy. So this is a pretty interesting combination of cards that came out. So at the bottom of the deck we have the Child. So this is kind of like inviting you to see things from a new perspective, you know, so from like a child's perspective, you know. And so that goes into the giveaway, which this is really interesting because the giveaway is all about sort of being in flow with the universe, you know, like giving away freely and then being open to receive, you know. And so instead of being sort of like blocked up and locked and like in this sort of scarcity mindset, you're having like total faith in the universe. And so you are like trusting and like putting, you know, your authentic feelings out there, you know, and then but then that's what you're getting back too. I mean, that's sort of like the gift of abundance, you know. I mean, and it's interesting because when I did the September reading, like the whole message was about how there was this big shakeup and this like profound change in perspective that was like going to lead into being in this state of flow. And so, you know, this card kind of speaks to that. You know, it's like living in a state of abundance, and like the next card we have is the Serpent. So this is a card of like an awakening, or, you know, it speaks to like shedding this old skin, you know, and like being vulnerable, you know, like shedding this old skin and sort of like exposing your soft underbelly, you know, which is kind of what this speaks to, you know. It's just like giving away freely of your like emotions and your feelings and not expecting anything in return, you know. You're just putting it out there, you know, like fearless, and then you're exposing your soft underbelly, and then we got Fire. So this is a card of transformation, you know, because like wood turns to ash, you know, things that go into the fire are transformed. So this is really interesting because it sort of speaks to sort of this change in perspective and this change of being in the world, from being in this like scarcity mindset of like holding back, withholding, into just like having total faith and putting everything out there, and like just like exposing yourself, and then, you know, the transformation that comes from that, like, you know, this sort of childlike wonder of like how to be in the world. And it's like this beautiful thing. And this also reminds me of this reading that I did like right at the time of the Minneapolis Uprising when it started, and it was called Uprising Leads to Transformation, and it was all about, you know, this transformative event. And like a super huge climax, you know. And so this is interesting because this is a really natural evolution from the monthly reading, which is just sort of like this new way of being in the world, you know. And it's really a beautiful thing, you know. And I think a lot of people are going through that shift right now because the world is in such a state of chaos, and we're all having to adapt and figure out how we fit in it, you know. But it's just sort of like, you know, that we can sort of surrender into the unknown and have faith and, you know, adapt to the new world, or we can kind of like shrink in fear, you know. I mean, it's really kind of like our only options. And so it's I think really interesting also just to see how people are adapting, because everything is in such this profound state of flux that it's just like it's bringing out the best and the worst in people for sure, you know. Okay, so I'm going to pull some overall cards for the reading. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we got the Magician at the bottom, which this was at the bottom when I first pulled the deck out of the box too. This is a card of manifestation and of being able to turn lead into gold. You know, like you have all the elements you need at your disposal, and you can create anything, you know, out of what's there. So it's really powerful. It's like, speaks to empowerment, you know. Oh, I didn't realize that I pulled out an extra card here. So I have, we have the Nine of Voices, and underneath, I didn't see, was this like Three of Materials. So it's like there's all this fear and anxiety because there's this like new way of being, and it's like kind of unsettling, you know. But underneath that, all that is, there actually is a solid foundation there. Like it was hidden, like I didn't even know I had pulled it. It was just like underneath that. So there's actually a solid foundation here, but it's just like, it's a little unsettling because it's not how you're used to being in the world, you know, to just like trust and have faith and just like wear your heart on a sleeve and just like be out there with yourself, you know. And then we have the Five of Inspiration, you know. So this card speaks to conflict and competition and change, you know, which we're shedding this old skin and like exposing this soft underbelly. So, I mean, this is a huge transformation, which is going to bring up like all kinds of like changes, you know, with the people that we might associate with, and, you know, probably jobs and situations, and it's going to cause like all kinds of like internal conflict, but like that's okay. Like, you know, we're like exposing the soft underbelly, and like part of this change is that you kind of have to like just like walk into it and just it's okay that you might have anxieties about it. Like that's part of the process, you know, but there is a solid foundation underneath here. And then we have, on top of this transformation, we have the Fool. So it's just like embrace the unknown, embrace this transformation, because it's actually a really positive thing. Okay, so I'm going now to the Golden Art Nouveau to get some general energies for the reading. I want to say, oh my gosh, so at the bottom we have the Two of Cups, so this is like a love. So maybe that's part of the thing that you have to embrace the unknown about. But I'm just going to pull some cards. But while I'm shuffling, I want to mention that again, this is the deck. That's the giveaway for this month. Oh my gosh, the Two of Cups just came out again. So this love really wants to come through. You know, that's really cool. I also want to mention that I've arranged the readings on this channel in a slightly less than standard way, in the sense that they're not arranged according to date or zodiac sign, but they're arranged according to storyline. So if there's a storyline that resonates with you, like I'll link other, oh my gosh, I'll link other related storylines into threads or playlists on the channel. I also link related videos up here at the top, so that's another way that you can browse the channel. Yeah, this month definitely looks like it's going to be a super transformational month. I mean, that's definitely what I was getting from the full moon and the monthly reading and the full moon reading were the kind of the same reading this month, because it's just how that fell, like, on the calendar. Yeah, big changes. Oh my gosh. Okay. So at the bottom we have the Judgment. So this definitely a reckoning, you know, there's like karma that's coming through, there's changes that are happening, and this is sort of like this moment of reckoning, you know. Okay, so we have on the top row we have the Two of Cups, we have the High Priestess, and we have the World. So it's just like, it seems like there's a lot of fear and anxiety around this new foundation, which is sort of like leading us to this connection, you know. And so like maybe you've kind of like always been sort of like blocked and guarded with your emotions like your whole life, but this new thing is that you're just gonna put them out there. And this is like uncomfortable because it's like not really how you've adapted to deal with the world, so it's like it really doesn't feel very comfortable, but it actually is a more solid foundation for being in the world. It's just not what you're used to, you know. And then we have the High Priestess, you know, so there's this shedding of this old skin and this exposing of the soft underbelly, you know. And the Priestess is like, she's really tapped in. She's tapped into the collective consciousness. She has all this power to manifest. So there's a lot of manifestation power, you know. This is sort of like the female oriented and the male oriented, you know, manifestors. So it's just like a very holistic sound, you know, new beginning, but there's just like all this inner conflict that's happening because it's just like a big shift from like the usual MO, you know. And then we have on top of this transformative moment where you're just taking a leap of faith, we have the World. So it's definitely the end of one cycle of life and the beginning of a new cycle. So that's interesting because I was talking about in the monthly reading how this change is like sort of like on par with just sort of like going from being single to going from being married, or, you know, a change of that caliber. So then on top of this love connection that's making us have all this anxiety, we also have the Nine of Swords from a different deck. So that's two cards of fear and anxiety. So it's just like, this is actually a really beautiful thing, but there's a lot of fear. Like, this is really making someone uncomfortable, you know, like it's really far outside of their comfort zone, you know. But like, just know that, you know, and try to have awareness about that as it's like coming up, because it's like a thing that you're gonna have to like release, you know. And so it's like you're gonna have to like be conscious about that, you know, but not let it sort of like override your intentions and like what you're trying to achieve, you know. And then we have the Nine of Cups. So this is a card of wish coming true, like manifesting this wish coming true, you know, by shedding this old skin and exposing your soft underbelly. It's like you're going to have to work through some change and conflict and upheaval, but like it actually is leading to your wish. So it's like you're really going to have to be intentional with this fear and anxiety to get this outcome that you want, you know. But it actually is your wish, you know. And then what's interesting, so we have this new, taking this leap of faith and transforming and this new era that's coming online. And then we have this beautiful soulmate connection. And this Six of Cups often indicates from the past. So like maybe someone from the past where it's like you really had this sense that there was something there, but it was the wrong time, or, you know, it didn't work out for whatever reason, or, you know, like maybe now like you've graduated from school and moved back home, and then suddenly this person that you haven't seen in forever, and then like things just click, you know, something like that is kind of what the cards are indicating. So interesting. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the Muse Tarot and pick a couple of cards about how we might move through here. This is actually really positive, but like I think in the monthly reading that was a thing that came through too. There was a lot of fear and anxiety, like that was definitely coming through. Like it's like beautiful, but like it's not gonna be easy, you know, like it's not just gonna happen like on a silver platter or whatever. Okay, all right, so at the bottom we have the Hierophant. Oh my gosh, so this is a card of marriage, you know, like, I mean, it's funny because I was talking about that, like going from being single to being married. So we've got the Two of Voices, you know, so this is a card of like inner conflict, and it can be like a card of blocking, you know, so that's like, I think the energy that you're going to have to break through, you know, like that's the root of all this fear and anxiety. And this is like, you know, what we're going to have to, this is the obstacle of what we're going to have to break through to get to this, you know, like that's what you got to work through, you know. So then we have the Knight of Voices. So this is a message of truth or clarity that's coming in, you know. So it's like we're shedding this skin, you know, and we're going into this unknown, and our wishes are coming true, but for sure you're going to have to like definitely make a dedicated effort to work through these blockages, you know, because you've obviously adapted to walk through the world on this different foundation, you know, and so that's kind of your unconscious patterning. So in order to like get to this different outcome, it's like, you know, if you keep doing the same thing over and over, you're going to get the same outcome. So if you want to get a different outcome, you're going to have to respond in a different way, you know. And so this is the thing, like you're really going to have to make this conscious effort to respond to this situation from a different perspective, you know. And so that's going to be like not like letting fear and anxiety override you, but like just being conscious that that's something that's going to come up, and you're going to have to like let it go, you know. And then we have the Four of Voices. So this is a card of like, actually like she's taking a bath with these rose petals, and she's like kind of like manifesting these beams, you know. So it's just sort of like there's a good outcome that's online here, you know. And like speaks to like a new relationship that's, it's going to be a place where you can heal like these things from the past, you know. But it's not gonna be just like easy breezy. So looks interesting. Okay, I'm going to the Starseed Oracle, which that was like I feel like that was the first giveaway that I did like ways back. Like it must have been maybe in May or something, because I think I started doing these in May. So it's been pretty fun because I feel like I'm building a little bit of a community around these giveaways, and I've done like a couple of readings for people, and they've been like really, like the coincidences have been really kind of astounding, so that's fun. Okay, oh my gosh, wow. All right, so we got two things. We got the Great Severing, Mars energy, anger, conflict, softening to love. So yeah, kind of like what I said, like there's this potential here, but you're gonna have to work through these difficult energies to get there, you know. Like that's the path. So know that, you know, like that's part of it. And then we have inner earth. You'll survive this. New solutions and beginnings. So yeah, like know that you're going towards something better, and that this is going to lead to a profound connection that's going to be healing, powerfully healing. So it's a good thing. Okay, well, on that note, I think I will just check back soon with a new reading. I want to remind you, I'm going to put stuff in the description box about if you're interested in checking out the ketones. I'm repping for this ketone, and it's like a wellness product. It's disrupting the wellness industry. It's really crazy. I mean, for me, there's been profound benefits, but like, it's just, basically it catalyzes a shift in the body from carb burning to fat burning metabolism, but it has all these profound impacts, you know, the obvious one being burning more fat, but like just around like brain health, immune system function, energy, like great amounts of energy. Like I've even been noticing like these positive impacts with my skin, like getting better. I mean, just like overall, it's really powerful stuff. So if you're interested in that, I'm going to put some stuff in the description, like a link to where you can get it, like my testimonial. There's a video explaining how it works. And yeah, if you want to know more, feel free to reach out. But I'll check back soon with another story for you, and have a great day.